Hi folks, and welcome back to the office. That turned out to be a pretty fun run, and yes, I was really not motivated to get out and do that run this morning, and that's what had me thinking about what I would actually talk about in this video. And I want to go over that run just briefly here in just a minute. But first of all, I just want to mention, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I have a lot of really fun content here that I think you're going to enjoy, and a lot of you, I think there's a lot of folks out there that can really relate to me. Enough of that. Not a hard sell, just subscribe. It's free to you and it motivates me. But what I do want to talk about for just a sec, I'll try to point at it there, the Endorphin Speed. Now that's come up in a couple of my videos that I've done, the last couple of videos where I've been using that shoe for workouts. I was kind of worried when I took this shoe out this morning, knowing or thinking that it might get rained on, because I've had some different reviewers out there with the Endorphin Speed and the Endorphin Speed 2 that were talking about how it wasn't really that good in the rain. I'm going to tell you, it worked pretty well for me. Now, maybe I'm not the fastest guy in the world. Maybe I can't pick up the pace enough to actually get that, see how that traction might not work that well. But I've got over 200 kilometers on this shoe, and the traction, the outsole on that worked perfectly fine. And I was mostly running on paved trail like you saw in the video. But yeah, it worked perfectly fine. So it was great. Let me go over that run for just a second with you. Now, that run was meant to be a 45-minute threshold run. 15-minute warm-up, 15-minute cool down with 15 minutes at threshold pace somewhere in the middle of that. And I came out to a total of 45 minutes, 34 seconds, 7.62 kilometers with an average pace of 5 minutes and 59 seconds per kilometer. Keep in mind, that's for all three portions of that, the warm-up, the cool down, and the threshold runs. But if we dive right into the meat of this run, we've got 4 different sections here to look at. The first kilometer at threshold pace, I went at 4 minutes and 53 seconds per kilometer. Second kilometer was 4 minutes and 44 seconds per kilometer. Third kilometer was 4 minutes and 46 seconds per kilometer. And that last little bit to keep me up, get me up to the 15 minutes was at 5:05 per kilometer pace. Worked out really, really well. Again, that probably comes out to about a 4 minutes, 50 seconds per kilometer pace for the threshold portion of that, which is ahead of what I consider my threshold pace to be, ahead by about 15, 20 seconds. And I'm finding the more of these workouts that I'm doing, the easier that feels. I was really concerned as I was running. I wasn't really paying close attention to my watch. I was just trying to go off of feel on what felt like a hard effort, a threshold pace effort. And with all the rain and everything, I thought it was going to be a little bit slower, but it worked out fine. It worked out great. But what I wanted to talk about today, I was really, really tired, and I have been over the last few days. It's been a really busy week. There's been a lot of things going on. School has ended in terms of me teaching. The summer has shown up. I've got some family staying with us. It's just thrown me off my schedule just a bit. So I haven't really been getting much sleep, any sleep at all, just a few hours a night. So this morning, when I saw that I had a workout to do, I really, really was close to just not doing that workout, not doing that run. So that's the point of this video, is to talk a little bit about the motivation and what I do to get motivated to do these sorts of runs, and maybe just a few tips that will help you. Now, I think most of these tips are going to be kind of obvious, but it's always good to remind ourselves of these. And the first one of those tips is just get out there and get started. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the same thing would happen to me when I was looking to do a workout in the gym, to go in and lift weights. As long as I made it to the gym and I got into my warm-up, seemed fine. I got going, I felt better about how things were doing, how I was feeling, and I was able to continue on with the workout. And as I get into more runs that are more workout styles, I did a lot of just easy pace running in my last marathon block. In this one, I'm doing a lot more workouts, and I'm finding when I'm really tired, it's been hard for me knowing that I've got a hard effort ahead of me. It's not just easy miles to roll out of bed, get out and do that workout when I'm so tired. I question myself whether I'm going to be able to perform well. Is it really worth it? Should I push that workout to another day, which a lot of times isn't the best idea. Most of these workouts involve some sort of a warm-up for me. So if I convince myself, you know what, get out there, do your warm-up, which is usually 2-3 kilometers, 15, 20 minutes easy run before you get into the meat of the workout. If I get out there and do that and I'm still not feeling well, I can just finish with an easy run, turn that run into an easy run, or I can just bag it at that point. 9 times out of 10, when I get out there and I start the warm-up, by the end of that warm-up, I am feeling so much better. And number 2 is have a plan, have a schedule in place. Now for me, this was pretty easy to do. I went from training for my first marathon, finishing that marathon, having a very short break before setting my eyes on my second marathon. So I jumped right into a new marathon training block. But having a plan, I know for me, what that does, it kind of helps me avoid shuffling those workouts along, thinking that I can do those workouts another day, because when I look at the overall grand scheme of things and I look at the calendar, I've got other things I need to do on those other days. And number 3 is figure out what motivates you. Now, again, I know that sounds super simple, but again, it's something that we can lose sight of very quickly. For me right now, that is my daughter. Now, if you haven't been watching these videos, I'll put a link to one up there right now. My daughter is training for her first ever 5K, and she's been an absolute trooper. I am so proud of her, but there have been a couple of days where the weather has not been good at all. And I've tried to, sadly, convince her, let's do that another day. And she's been, Dad, we're not made of sugar. Let's go out, let's crush those runs. And every single time, I am absolutely convinced that it was the right choice. Number 4, oddly enough, is kind of the opposite of number 3, and that's don't rely on motivation. If you're training for a race, especially if you're training for something like a marathon or an ultra marathon or a half marathon, whatever it is, a lot of these training programs can be very long, 16 weeks, 18 weeks, 20 weeks, or even longer. And if you're relying solely on motivation to get out there and do those runs every single day, it's not going to work. There are days when you just have to suck it up, get out there and do the runs. It's not all about being motivated. If you wait for yourself to be motivated to get every single run, every single workout in, you're not going to be successful. There are just days where you have to get out, get it done. That's it. And the last one, now I know this one's not going to apply to everybody because not everybody is a morning person, but get the hard stuff out of the way early. I find for me, as the day goes on, as the willpower, as all the motivation starts to dwindle just a little bit, if I hold off on doing a hard workout until later on in the day, there's a better chance that I'm just not going to do it. So that is it, folks. That's the kind of things that I do to kind of get myself and keep myself motivated to keep pushing those hard workouts. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are new to my channel, again, please consider subscribing. I really enjoy making these videos for you. My name is Matt, and this is What Matters to Matt, and ultimately what matters to me most is my family. I'll see you in the next one.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.